Listen to me for a moment. Every single morning, life hands you a fresh opportunity. No noise, no excuses, no audience. Just you and a choice. A choice to rise with purpose or to roll over and let the day own you. And understand this clearly. How you start your morning is how you train your mind to live. Before the world asks anything of you, before distractions start pulling you in 1,000 directions, there is a window of power. A moment where discipline is built, confidence is sharpened, and belief is either strengthened or neglected. That moment is the morning. And if you waste it, the day will charge you interest. See, success doesn't begin when the spotlight turns on. It begins when nobody's watching. It begins in silence, in consistency, in doing the right things when comfort is calling your name. Winners don't wake up accidentally. They wake up intentionally. They prepare their minds before they chase their goals. You don't need more time. You don't need luck. You need a routine that aligns your actions with the future you say you want. Because when you win the morning, you give yourself a fighting chance to win the day. And when you win enough days, you change your life. So today, right here, right now, decide this. Your mornings will no longer be ordinary. They will be deliberate, they will be powerful, and they will demand the best version of you every single time you rise. Mornings decide the direction of your entire life because they are the first conversation you have with yourself every single day. Before the world speaks to you, before opinions, pressure, and noise try to shape your thinking, your morning sets the tone for how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. When you wake up with intention, you are telling your mind that today matters. You are declaring that your life is not on autopilot. That single decision, repeated daily, becomes the foundation of discipline, confidence, and clarity. Most people underestimate the power of the first hour after waking up. They treat it casually, thinking it's just a warm-up before the real day begins. But that first hour is the real day. It programs your mindset, your energy, and your emotional state. If you start your morning rushing, complaining, scrolling, or reacting, you teach your brain to live in survival mode. You begin the day behind, chasing time instead of controlling it. Over months and years, that pattern turns into stress, inconsistency, and a life that feels out of control. On the other hand, when you start your morning with structure and purpose, you step into leadership over your own life. You're not waiting for motivation or permission. You're building momentum. Momentum is powerful because it doesn't require constant effort. It carries you forward once it's moving. A strong morning creates momentum that flows into your work, your relationships, and your decisions. You show up sharper, calmer, and more focused because you already won something before the day tested you. Mornings also shape identity. What you do consistently becomes who you believe you are. When you wake up early, move your body, sharpen your mind, or commit to a routine, you reinforce the belief that you are disciplined, capable, and reliable. That belief influences every choice you make afterward. You speak differently. You act with more confidence. You stop negotiating with weakness because you've proven to yourself that you can do hard things. Over time, that identity compounds and your life begins to reflect it. The direction of your life is determined by small decisions made repeatedly, not by dramatic moments. Mornings are where those small decisions live, choosing to get up when it's uncomfortable, choosing to prepare instead of procrastinate, choosing growth over ease. These choices may seem insignificant in isolation, but together they create a trajectory. Just like a plane that's off course by 1 degree ends up miles away from its destination, a neglected morning routine can slowly pull your life away from your true potential. Energy is another reason mornings matter so much. Your mental and emotional energy is highest when you wake up. That's when your mind is most receptive to discipline, learning, and intention. If you give that energy away immediately to distractions, negativity, or other people's priorities, you weaken your ability to focus on what truly matters. But if you invest that energy into yourself first, you strengthen your foundation for the rest of the day. You don't feel drained as easily because you started from a place of control. Mornings also create emotional stability. When you begin the day grounded and prepared, you're less reactive to challenges. Problems still come, but they don't shake you as easily. You've already aligned your mindset. so setbacks feel like obstacles to navigate, not threats to your identity. That emotional resilience carries into every area of life, allowing you to make better decisions under pressure and stay committed when things get hard. Over years, your mornings shape your habits shape your character, and your character shapes your destiny. People often search for breakthroughs, but the real breakthrough is consistency. It's showing up for yourself every morning, even when no one is watching, even when progress feels slow. That quiet commitment builds a life of strength, direction, and purpose that doesn't depend on external validation or temporary motivation. When you understand that mornings decide the direction of your entire life, you stop treating them casually. You protect them. You respect them. You use them as a tool to build the future you want, rather than drift into a future you didn't choose, because the way you rise each morning determines how you walk through the world and the path you follow long after the day ends. Discipline beats motivation before the world wakes up, because motivation is emotional and temporary, while discipline is intentional and dependable. Motivation shows up when conditions are perfect, when energy is high, and when results feel close. Discipline shows up regardless of how you feel, what mood you're in, or how comfortable the bed feels in the early morning hours. Before the world wakes up, before excuses gain strength and distractions demand attention, discipline is at its purest. It is a quiet decision made in solitude, and that decision has the power to reshape an entire life. Motivation is loud. It comes from speeches, music, praise, and sudden bursts of inspiration. But it fades just as quickly as it arrives. If your progress depends on motivation, then your progress will always be inconsistent. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, and other days you'll feel nothing at all. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what needs to be done. In the early morning when no one is clapping, liking, or watching, discipline becomes the only force strong enough to move you forward. The early hours test your commitment in a way nothing else can. When the alarm goes off and the world is still asleep, there are no external rewards waiting for you. No immediate results, no recognition, just a choice. That's where discipline is forged. Choosing to get up, to work, to train, to focus when comfort is within reach builds a level of self-respect that motivation can never give you. You begin to trust yourself because you know you'll show up even when it's hard. Discipline in the morning creates structure, and structure creates freedom. When you handle the most important tasks before the day gets chaotic, you reduce stress and decision fatigue. You no longer spend the rest of the day trying to catch up or make excuses. Instead, you move with clarity because you already honored your priorities. This sense of control is empowering. It gives you confidence that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on your ability to act with consistency. Before the world wakes up, distractions are minimal. Social noise is quiet. Demands are low. This is when discipline has the greatest return on investment. One focused hour in the morning can be more productive than several scattered hours later in the day. By training yourself to be disciplined in this window, you're not just getting things done, you're sharpening your mind to operate at a higher level. Over time, this sharpness becomes a competitive advantage. Discipline also builds identity. Each morning you choose action over comfort, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who does what they say they will do. That belief is powerful. It changes how you see challenges, how you respond to pressure, and how you pursue long-term goals. You stop waiting to feel ready because discipline teaches you that readiness comes from action, not emotion. You become less reactive and more intentional in every area of life. Motivation may help you start, but discipline is what keeps you going when progress is slow and results are invisible. In the early mornings, progress often feels thankless. You're planting seeds without seeing growth. Discipline allows you to keep planting anyway, trusting the process. This patience separates those who achieve lasting success from those who quit once excitement wears off. It teaches you to value effort over immediate reward. Over time, disciplined mornings compound. One morning turns into a week turns into months, months turn into years. What once felt difficult becomes normal. What once required effort becomes part of who you are. And while others are waiting to feel inspired, You're already ahead because you built a system that doesn't rely on feelings. You trained yourself to move first and let motivation catch up later. Before the world wakes up, discipline is your edge. It's the proof that you are willing to sacrifice comfort for growth, ease for progress, and excuses for responsibility, and that quiet commitment repeated daily becomes the backbone of confidence, success, and inner strength that no external circumstance can take away, because discipline practiced in the dark eventually shines in every area of life and continues to guide your actions long after motivation has faded and the world is wide awake. Ownership of the day starts the moment you open your eyes, because that is the first moment where choice exists. Before emails arrive, before demands are placed on you, before other people's expectations try to shape your behavior, there is a brief but powerful window where your response determines who is in control. Either you take ownership of the day, or the day takes ownership of you. That decision happens silently, often unconsciously, but its impact echoes through every hour that follows. When you wake up and immediately react, you surrender control. Hitting snooze, checking notifications, or mentally complaining about what's ahead may seem harmless, but those actions send a message to your mind that you are already behind. You begin the day responding instead of leading. Over time, this reactive pattern becomes a lifestyle, where life feels like something happening to you rather than something you are actively directing. Ownership disappears not in dramatic moments, but in small surrendered choices made first thing in the morning. Taking ownership means deciding that your mindset, your energy, and your focus belong to you. It means recognizing that no matter what challenges the day brings, how you show up is your responsibility. This mindset is empowering because it removes the excuse of circumstance. You may not control everything that happens, but you always control how you prepare. When you wake up with this understanding, you step into the role of leader in your own life, rather than a passenger hoping for smooth roads. The moment you open your eyes, your mind is impressionable. Thoughts formed in those early minutes tend to shape your emotional state for hours. If you allow negativity, worry, or avoidance to take root, they grow quickly. But if you choose intention, gratitude, or purpose, you create mental stability. Ownership begins internally before it ever shows externally. It's a conscious decision to set your tone rather than letting the world set it for you. Owning the day also means honoring your priorities before distractions arrive. Once the day starts moving, it rarely slows down. People need things. Problems show up, time slips away. If you haven't already decided what matters, you'll spend the day handling what's loud instead of what's important. Morning ownership is about protecting your focus. It's about investing your best mental energy into the things that move your life forward, instead of leaving them for later when energy is low and excuses are strong. There is a deep sense of confidence that comes from owning your morning. It's not loud or arrogant, but grounded and calm. You walk into the day knowing you didn't waste your most valuable resource. You showed up for yourself first. That confidence changes how you speak, how you handle pressure, and how you respond to setbacks. You're less shaken by chaos because you've already anchored yourself before it arrived. Ownership is also about accountability. When you start the day intentionally, you stop blaming external factors for your internal state. You don't say, "I'll feel better once things calm down," or "I'll focus when I have more time." You understand that clarity and discipline are choices, not rewards. This accountability strengthens character. It teaches you that progress begins with personal responsibility, not perfect conditions. Over time, owning the day becomes owning your life. Days shape weeks, weeks shape years. If each day begins with intention, direction, and responsibility, the cumulative effect is powerful. You begin to trust yourself. You build consistency. You create a sense of inner authority that no one can take from you. Life may still challenge you, but you face it from a position of strength rather than reaction. When ownership starts the moment you open your eyes, you stop waiting for permission to live deliberately. You stop postponing your potential. You understand that every morning is a fresh opportunity to align your actions with the person you want to become. And that alignment, practiced daily, turns intention into identity and transforms ordinary days into the building blocks of an extraordinary life where you walk forward with purpose, control, and self-respect from the very first breath you take each morning. Small morning actions compound into massive success because repetition gives them power far beyond their size. What you do in the first hours of the day may feel minor, almost insignificant, but when those actions are repeated consistently, they create momentum that shapes your future. Success rarely comes from one big decision or dramatic breakthrough. It comes from small, intentional habits performed daily, especially when no one is watching and no immediate reward is guaranteed. Each morning is like a vote for the person you are becoming. One disciplined choice may not change your life in a day, but thousands of disciplined choices will. When you wake up and commit to even one positive action, you are laying a brick. One brick doesn't look like much, but lay it every day and eventually you have a foundation strong enough to support something extraordinary. This is how compounding works. It's quiet, gradual, and often overlooked, but it never stops working. Morning actions are especially powerful because they happen before fatigue, stress, and distractions drain your energy. This is when your willpower is highest and your mind is clearest. Using this time wisely allows small efforts to produce greater results. Reading a few pages, moving your body for a short time, planning your priorities, or practicing gratitude may seem modest, but done consistently, they reshape how you think, feel, and perform. Over time, these actions change your standards, and higher standards lead to higher outcomes. Compounding also works psychologically. Every small win in the morning reinforces self-belief. When you keep promises to yourself, even small ones, you build trust within. That trust makes it easier to take on bigger challenges. You stop doubting whether you can follow through, because you have evidence. Confidence doesn't come from hype, it comes from repeated proof. And mornings provide daily opportunities to create that proof. Many people fail to achieve success not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They chase big changes while ignoring small habits. But massive success is simply the result of small actions done for a long time without interruption. Mornings offer the most reliable space for consistency. They are predictable. They are yours. When you protect them, you protect the process that leads to long-term growth. The power of small morning actions is also seen in how they influence the rest of the day. A focused morning makes it easier to make disciplined choices later. One good decision creates another. You're less likely to waste time, react emotionally, or settle for shortcuts because you already set a higher standard early on. This ripple effect expands beyond the morning and begins to shape your entire lifestyle. Compounding requires patience, and patience is built through routine. In the beginning, progress feels slow. Results are invisible. This is where most people quit. They underestimate how powerful consistency can be over months and years. But those who stay committed understand that every small action is an investment. Even when growth isn't visible, it's happening beneath the surface. Roots are forming before anything shows above ground. Over time, these small morning actions accumulate into skills, discipline, clarity, and resilience. You become more focused, more confident, and more capable. Opportunities begin to appear, not by chance, but because you are prepared to recognize and seize them. What once felt like effort becomes part of who you are. The compound effect turns ordinary routines into extraordinary results. Massive success often looks sudden from the outside, but it is always built slowly from the inside. It is the result of showing up on days that feel average, uninspired, or inconvenient. Morning actions train you to value consistency over intensity and process over perfection. They teach you that progress doesn't require dramatic change, only disciplined repetition. When you commit to small actions each morning, you align yourself with long-term growth rather than short-term comfort. You stop chasing motivation and start building systems that work even when motivation fades. Day by day, those systems shape your habits, your mindset, and your character, until success is no longer something you chase, but something you attract. because the life you built through small daily choices naturally leads you there as the compounded effect of disciplined mornings continues to expand your potential and define the level of success you reach over time. You don't wait for greatness. You prepare for it daily because greatness is not a surprise event, it is a result. It doesn't arrive because you hoped hard enough or waited long enough. It shows up when preparation meets opportunity, and preparation is built quietly, patiently, and consistently long before anything extraordinary happens. Most people spend their lives waiting to feel ready, waiting for confidence, waiting for the right moment. But those who achieve at the highest level understand that readiness is not something you feel, it is something you build. Waiting puts you in a passive position. It assumes that greatness is something outside of you, something that must come find you. Preparation flips that mindset. It puts you in control. When you prepare daily, you are actively shaping the person who can handle success, pressure, responsibility, and visibility when they arrive. Because greatness doesn't just test your talent, it tests your discipline, your character, and your consistency. Without preparation, even success can become overwhelming. Daily preparation is unglamorous, it's routine, it's repetitive. It often feels boring. But it is powerful because it builds capacity. Every day you train your mind, sharpen your skills, and strengthen your habits. You are expanding what you can handle. You are becoming someone who doesn't panic when opportunities appear because you've already done the work. While others are shocked by responsibility, you are steady because you've rehearsed it through discipline. Preparation also removes fear. Fear thrives in uncertainty and unpreparedness. When you know you've put in the work, fear loses its grip. You may still feel nervous, but you're not paralyzed. You trust yourself. You know that even if things don't go perfectly, you can adapt. That confidence doesn't come from positive thinking, it comes from earned belief. Daily preparation gives you that belief because it's built on evidence, not hope. Greatness demands consistency under pressure. The spotlight magnifies everything, including weaknesses. If you haven't prepared in private, public moments expose you. That's why preparation must happen before recognition. You don't train when the game starts. You train long before the crowd shows up. Daily preparation ensures that when expectations rise, you don't crumble, you elevate. You don't scramble to catch up. You execute what you've already practiced. Preparing daily also shapes your standards. You stop aiming for what's convenient and start aiming for what's required. You understand that excellence is not accidental, it's intentional. Every day you prepare, you reinforce the idea that your future deserves effort. You stop negotiating with comfort and start honoring commitment. That mindset changes how you approach everything, from work to relationships to personal growth. Many people delay preparation because they're waiting for clarity, but clarity often comes after action, not before it. You don't always know exactly where preparation will take you, but you trust that it will take you somewhere better than inaction. Daily preparation creates momentum, and momentum creates direction. As you move forward, opportunities become clearer because you're in motion, not standing still. Preparation also builds humility. When you prepare daily, you accept that you are a work in progress. You respect the process. You don't assume you're entitled to success, you earn it. This humility keeps you grounded even when things start going well. It reminds you that greatness is not a destination. It's a standard you maintain through effort and discipline. When greatness finally knocks, it rarely gives notice. It arrives disguised as responsibility, challenge, or opportunity that feels slightly too big. Those who waited feel overwhelmed. Those who prepared step forward. They may not feel perfect, but they are ready enough. And ready enough is all you need when preparation has been consistent. Daily preparation transforms waiting into becoming. You stop asking when your time will come and start acting like someone whose time is inevitable. Every disciplined day adds weight to your potential. Every focused morning strengthens your ability to perform when it matters. You don't rush greatness, and you don't chase it either. You build the habits, mindset, and skills that make greatness possible, and when the moment arrives, you meet it not with surprise, but with confidence because you've been preparing for it all along every single day.